What's up, guys? EDA Talk Sports here, back with another video. This time we're going to be covering the Arsenal versus Southampton game. Arsenal running out as 3-1 winners, and I would be lying if this wasn't the second time of me recording this video. Make sure your audio is always recording, guys. So you're going to get into it. I'm going to make sure I don't miss out on any of the great stuff that we covered. First things first, let's talk about the lineup. Now, from an Arsenal perspective, many changes. Gabriel Jesus coming in, starting up top, Sterling on the wing, Jorginho in midfield, and Partey moved to right back. Now, I can imagine Arsenal fans were going crazy. I was going a little bit crazy when I saw the lineup. I laughed a little bit, to be honest with you, because I know it was all of the trigger points that Arsenal fans like to go on about. Oh, Partey at right back, Havertz in midfield, Jesus up top, Sterling playing. A lot of talking points and a lot of things that if Arsenal didn't get it right, could have gone really, really wrong. So yeah, a lot of changes there from a Southampton perspective, less so. The team that you'd mostly be expecting. Only difference that I wasn't really expecting was Stewart actually starting. I was expecting Archer, and he came on once Stewart had an injury. So we're going to get into all of the fun stuff. Let's start at the top. So we came into this game, as you can see from the stats here, around 60% possession. They did have more of the ball. They dominated the ball, same as they had last week against Leicester. Less of an XG, even less shots than last week actually, and less big chances. And so if I was to summarise the Arsenal performance in the first half, let's kick off in the first half, dominating without being effective. So we had lots of the ball. We looked threatening, especially in the first 30 minutes. And we didn't ever look like we were actually going to score, that we were really close to having like a clear-cut chance. It was a lot of probing and prodding and half chances here and there. But I just didn't think we were, if we didn't crack Southampton open in the first 15, 20 minutes, we would have a little bit of a problem. And that's kind of how it played out. Our control slowly dissipated, slowly but surely, and Southampton got themselves into the game towards the end of the second half. And Arsenal fans were probably getting a little bit anxious. You know, this is a team that ideally you should be beating quite comfortably, getting an early lead, riding into the sunset with Arsenal as victors. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The first half was a lot more annoying, a lot more combative than maybe Arsenal had thought. Southampton looked like an easy touch in the first 15, 20 minutes, looked a lot tougher. They still stuck to their principles. Russell Martin, who we've spoken about in the preview, has a certain style of play that he likes his teams to play. And that was clear. And they kept doing it. It got them into trouble. They kept doing it, and they found some advantages. Going into the halftime break, Arsenal weren't that impressive. Again, not much to talk about in the first half in terms of what actually transpired. But one of the things is that Archer came on, and that would pay big dividends coming into the second half. Again, Arsenal started off looking like they were going to be on the front foot, competitive, but again, they lost that element of control. Raheem Sterling losing the ball in the midfield. Debatable if it's a foul or not. I thought it was a foul. However, it's one of those that whether he's fouled or not, you need to get back and you need to make sure that you haven't got an easy ride into getting a shot on goal, and that's what Arsenal essentially allowed. That quick transition is what Arsenal are always going to have danger in, because they've got so many players high up the pitch. And when they did lose that ball, the tackle/foul by Matheus Fernandes was one, and he progressed the ball all the way to Cameron Archer, who found space to get a shot off, a slight deflection off Saliba. However, great attack from Southampton, and they found themselves 1-0 up. Deserved? Probably not, but they kept themselves in the game, and for that alone, you've got to give them their credit. They stuck to their style of football. They could have sat back with 10 at the back with no long ball, and that could have been a tactic, and it's a tactic that's probably worked in the past. But he stuck to his football, and he got himself 1-0 up, and he got his team 1-0 up. Going into that panic station for Arsenal fans, panic stations potentially for Arsenal, apart from probably the team themselves, who looked ready to turn it on, and turn it on they did. Saka, similar to Matheus Fernandes, won the ball in midfield, progressed it to Havertz, who found some space and shot an absolute strike, a brilliant strike off the post. Ramsdale had no chance, and it was a quality strike that Arsenal needed to break the deadlock. Not only did it break the deadlock, but the Emirates seemed to wake up after that goal. Quickly after that, 3 substitutions were made. 3 of the 4 major changes/switches by Arteta. Sterling came off, Gabriel Jesus came off, and Jorginho came off. Moreno, Trossard, and Martinelli all came on, and Arsenal looked like they were going to get that second goal, and that second goal is exactly what they got. Saka out on the wing, instead of trying to beat his man, he brings it back onto his left foot and hits those brilliant crosses he does, those in-swinger crosses, in the same vein as the goal that we scored against Chelsea last season at Stamford Bridge. Just a brilliant cross, and Martinelli this time is on the end of it, beating Ramsey at his near post. Should he have been able to get it past him? Probably not. Does he? Yes, absolutely. Brilliant goal from Martinelli, finding his form once again, and brilliant from Saka. 2 assists at this point, and he was fundamental to Arsenal getting themselves back into the game. Further changes were made from both sides, but it was Bakayo Saka goal to finish it off. Trossard, that's the ball from Kai Havertz, who won it in midfield. Brilliant work rate from him. Trossard should probably pass that ball a lot earlier, similar to Gabriel Jesus last week. You got to let that ball go. You got to find your teammate when you can. Trossard gets tackled, the ball finds itself to Saka, and he slots it past Ramsdale to make it 3-1, and that's how the game ended. Brilliant comeback from Arsenal. Don't really want to put themselves in that position again, but you have to show resilience at one time or another, and they showed it against Southampton at home. It should have been a more comfortable game, ideally, but that's not how football is played. Got to give my respect to Southampton and Russell Martin for the way they played. I don't think there was any individual standout player. Iblin is a player that I like a lot. Outside of that, no one really to write home about, but put in a good shift. They played their football. They tried to remain consistent in all that they did, and they nearly got something out of it. From an Arsenal perspective, really impressed by Bakayo Saka, absolute star. There's a reason he's got the tagline Star Boy. 2 assists and a goal for him, absolutely shone. I'm going to talk about the 4 changes. But at right back, people would have had a problem with it. I understand it. It hasn't always gone the way we had expected, but today he was solid, very solid. Made the right passes, contributed at right back very well. It's quite funny that Mikel Arteta said he came into this season in the best fitness that he's ever seen. Maybe that was like prelude to him playing him at right back, and also shows the importance for Thomas Partey in this season to get his performances up, which he has. He's been really consistent, even at right back. Jorginho less so. I didn't really think he contributed to the level that you expect. When I want to see Jorginho against these teams, I want to see line-breaking passes. I want to see him pushing the team up the field. I want to see that level of control. And I don't think he gave us that to a degree that I expected. Raheem Sterling did a couple of good things, did a couple of poor things. He's going to need to take his opportunities and seize them when he can. But I saw some good stuff and got a lot of hope for his future. Opportunities are going to be few and far between if Martinelli keeps performing. But that's the name of the game. If you're coming into a team like Arsenal, you need to seize your opportunities. One player who did not seize their opportunity, in my opinion, was Gabriel Jesus. I just think when he comes into the team and Havertz moves into midfield, they look a lot less clunky. And you can put it at Havertz being in midfield, but Havertz always performs. He always works hard. He may not be the creative spark that Odegaard is, but he's going to give you work rate. He's going to give you link-up play. Gabriel Jesus, I don't see anything of the sort. I didn't see a great striker playing out there today. I didn't see someone who was ready to rip the striker position away from Kai Havertz. Even more, I wouldn't really entertain starting Jesus in the Premier League until he gets his form up. For me, maybe some Champions League performances on the wing. Maybe you can play him striker in some lesser competition or lesser position, but I wouldn't be starting him in Premier League games. Trossard up front, maybe. Havertz up front, maybe. Gabriel Jesus, maybe on the wing. I just don't see him connecting with the team as a focal point as he should, and that's quite disappointing. Looking at the subs very briefly, Gabriel Martinelli, we've covered already. Brilliant goal, brilliant awareness, kept himself on side brilliantly. Cameron Archer again came off the bench for Stewart and finished really well. Yes, it took a slight deflection, but he seized his opportunity as you would expect. The rest of the subs, no one really impressed, so I won't cover that in much detail. For Southampton, they're going to continue their fight. They're going to be in the bottom half the majority of the season. It looks like they're going to need a lot more in all areas. I said it during the preview. I just think they're going to need a lot more. For Arsenal, good to see them get another victory. However, they can't keep putting themselves in positions like this. These are games that they should probably be dominating and running out as 4-5-0 winners. And see, apart from the PSG game, conceding goals that they probably shouldn't be conceding. So a lot to think about for both teams as they hit the international break. A lot for us to think about as fans. Guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to interact with you guys, and I will catch you soon. Peace.